Hello, everybody. Goddess bless you. All right, we're going to read some more today out of the Magic of Psychotronic Power. My intention is to raise the vibration of the room you're in, to raise your vibration. My intention with these studies are to raise my terrestrial field, to raise my energy field, and to be able to draw to me the life that I prefer, okay? And for you to draw to you the life that you prefer, okay? Strange noises happen. Okay. So first of all, we're going to clear the energy in the room. These flames have already been dedicated and charged with love, with high vibration, high frequency, and intention. Neutralize the room you're in. And so it is done. We raise the vibration. Got that other flame over there hidden. All right. So, the whole point of this, again, keeping in mind this is an older book, but is to study information that will assist you to raise your vibration, to get in your body every day, to ground in your own terrestrial field, and to use your human torus, your human biofield, your aura, your Merkaba, to create the reality you want, and to be at peace, to be abundant, to have perfect health, to be able to live the life you want, and project that out to every sentient being, to every blade of grass, every waterway, every heart, every person. Okay, as we raise and ascend into this next higher version of Earth, we create reality by our thoughts, which are electromagnetic, and they are in our energy field, and they attract other like thoughts to us, which literally create the physical world that we live in. If you do not have control of your thoughts, someone else will. You can actually have a thought and it's not yours, okay? It can be a program from you. If you just strictly think this lifetime, it can be a program from your children upbringing, from school indoctrination, college, work, what relationships, could be from any of that. However, it's also from your DNA line. It's from thousands of years of incarnations, all time being at once, okay? But it's also not yours. There's parasites, there's things that are interjected in the sky and things in your medicine to where the voice is not necessarily yours. And I've studied this my whole life, but it goes from theoretical to practical when you really apply it. And the first time I dry fasted, I really understood that a lot of those voices that are inside of me that kick me ass and tell me how stupid I am and how fat and how wrong and how I should have done things different, those aren't me, okay? If it was me, I would be loving to myself. But I had convinced myself for years that it was me or my thinking, right? And kept trying to be that better version of me, and punishing myself and anxiety and all this stuff, even when I was alone. And it had nothing to do with the real me, okay? So it's important to identify every thought that comes into your mind of where's the source. So if you feel bad, you feel down, something's going on, you go, what must I believe to feel this right now? Oh, well, I'd have to believe such and such. And if you can't go there, then go, well, what am I afraid of? Have self-dialogue and co-counseling inside with yourself like you do with other people. And when you identify the belief someone would have to have that emotion or feel how you do, you either go, oh, yeah, I feel that way, or no, I don't believe that. And then sometimes we go, well, I guess I do believe that and feel that way. And then so it helps with the person to unwind it by bringing in someone they love. Like a lot of times it works with the children. Oh, well, would you think if they felt this way or they did that? And they're like, well, no. And so then you help them to identify that it's not really actually their belief. All right, so we left off. Oh, I remember last time it got cut off. So it just kind of quit. Okay, so we're on page 65, and it's action plan to have every cell in your body work for you. Find a position that is comfortable. In this action plan, you can lie down if you prefer. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. As you exhale, feel like it's the end of a hard day and it feels so good to relax. Be aware of your scalp. Feel the tingling of blood circulating there. Picture your hair. See one hair enter your scalp. And again, do it however you want, just so that you're wandering around inside of your body. You're looking at different things like, where's my knee? Where's my foot? That you're bringing your presence into your body. Follow it down to beneath the scalp. See it enlarge like a tree trunk in a forest of hair follicles. Thank your hair for being your crowning glory. Express gratitude now to your brain cells for being the computer of your body and the communication center. Move your consciousness down. Thank your eyes, ears, taste buds, teeth for the excellent job they're doing. Enter your throat and stomach. Praise the stomach cells for each being an efficient chemistry laboratory for the digestion of such a variety of foods. Continue to express love, affection, and gratitude to your spleen, pancreas, liver, gallbladder, small intestine, and onto your colon. Say a kind word to your elimination system for a thankless job, but essential. Get inside your bloodstream. Tell the white blood corpuscles to pass your love and thanks along to the others. Same with the red. Stop off in your heart. Pay loving respect to this powerhouse, then to your lungs for similar appreciation. Finally, back to your skull. Tell a bone cell to convey your gratitude to all bone cells. Tell a scalp cell to pass it to all of your skin cells. As you leave the way you entered, open your eyes, feeling wide awake and better than ever. This is a rather long action plan in words, but if you read it through once or twice, you can get the idea of the physiological itinerary. You do not have to sit with the book in your lap and open your eyes to see what to do next. Any way you travel through your body system, any way you express your respect, love, and appreciation is the right way. Your cells respond just as if the president of General Motors visited the production line to thank the workers. When the morale of your cells rise, you know it. Everything appears improved, including your psychotronic power. You have the power to melt clouds. With your special place providing you with a link up to the cosmic psychotronic generator, and within your body cells adding their power to yours, you have power that you did not believe you had. That limited belief is still the major obstacle you have to contend with in moving from where you are in your life to new heights of power, health, and success through psychotronic miracles. And again, it's your definition of success. And a lot of things that people think are miracles, they try to say, oh, that's just a miracle, or that's, we don't know why that happened. But really, it's your innate power. It's your natural powers for you to own your energy field, own your thoughts, and create the reality you want, and not buy into their belief of how your reality works or should work. It is incumbent on me to show you easy ways to convince yourself that you have this power. If you have gone through the action plans up to this point and have done some of the other tests and procedures suggested, you are ready to do what Ralph G. was able to do. What I am able to do, and what countless others have proven to themselves and their friends that they can do. You can melt clouds. Are you ready to upgrade your own confidence in your psychotronic power with demonstration? Ralph did not think he could do it. His life was a reflection of this negative approach, failure after failure. It instructed him to select a wispy cloud above his head as the one he would melt, and another wispy cloud to use as a control. I explained that he would consider as positive proof of the disappearance of the first wispy cloud without the full disappearance of the second wispy cloud. He pointed to his object cloud and then to his control cloud. He relaxed, projected his consciousness to object cloud as if he was pointing a beam at it. Heat evaporation condensed water vapor. The cloud slowly disappeared. The control cloud changed too, but it remained identifiable. This had a profound effect on Ralph. For the first time, he could see tangible evidence of the power of his thought energy. This tangible evidence was happening in his life right along, all along, but he was not putting two and two together. He wasn't believing in the power of his own thoughts. We have to get to the point of belief to get to knowing, and that's where we create our physical world. Now he could see how the energy of his consciousness was a very real power shaping his life. From then on, he used it positively, and his life reflected this new polarity, success after success. You will be able to form this cloud melting demonstration to your own satisfaction, and here's how. So remembering when you're practicing with stuff like this, a lot of times people can do things like clouds because they think it doesn't matter. Like they're like, oh my gosh, there's too much of a charge around, money, health, big things. And so, but evaporating a cloud, they're like, they might be able to have the belief system that that's not going to hurt anybody or matter either way. So it's hard when you create, it's essential to not try to control the outcome or how that comes to you. But oftentimes we have other beliefs and things that are in the way. Okay, action plan to melt the cloud. Select an object cloud, wispy, and an equivalent control cloud. Relax in a standing position. Do not sit or lie down. Stare at the object cloud. Ignore the control cloud. Imagine that you are sending a beam of conscious energy to that cloud. Reach your hands upward and point the first 3 fingers of each hand at the object cloud, knowing that this increases the psychotronic power penetrating it. Expect it to react by melting away. Compare the change to the control cloud. You can probably do this the first day. If the results are not convincing, practice the action plans that precede this and try again. It is not important that you melt the cloud, but it is important that you know and accept your psychotronic power. When you do melt the cloud, let it go at that. To continue to do so, whether for fun or vanity, is a waste of power. You are better off using the power to improve your life. A way to upgrade your life and take these persons important to you along with you. Now that you know the immensity of your psychotronic power, you need to plan on how to use it in your life. The first step is to set priorities. What you want most: an executive position, more friends, better health, a trip, a new home, a car. It could be anything. Put everything you want on separate cards. Break each goal down into its components. And that's, you get those little 3x4 or whatever cards, like the recipe cards or whatever, and draw your depictions, draw your intentions on those. Okay. Let's see. For instance, make out health cards by first making out a card for that aspect of your health that needs immediate improvement. Then separate cards for health problems, right down to halting coughs or colds or other health nuances. Do the same for possessions. Whatever you want deserves a separate card. Do the same for others in your family. Separate cards for separate goals. When you have 10 or 20 file cards filled out, number them in order of importance. Then place number 1 in front of the other, number 2 behind it, etc. You are now ready to perform an action plan that will trigger every one of these goals to realization. Isn't that exciting? Are you excited? Action plan to upgrade your life. Go to your special room. Go to your special room. Get in there. Okay, and relax in the special chair with the cards in your hand. Hold the cards with the tips of your fingers, top priority on top. Gaze at the top card. See a mental picture of it coming true. If it involves a goal, see yourself having already received that goal. Spend about as many seconds on the first card as you have cards. Place the card in back of the rest and proceed to gaze at the card next in line in the same way, but a second less. Oh my gosh, that sounds complicated. In general. Go through the whole set of cards in this way, spending less and less on each. Repeat the procedure for the first card only when you reach it. Leave your special room mentally, knowing action has been triggered to upgrade your life according to your cards. So, your special room is in your imagination, right? So you imagine yourself sitting there and under that light in your cabin, your special room, and you imagine these cards, and then you imagine yourself doing that energy. And then I also, do them, in your, I want to call this the real world, but this physical reality, whatever that is to you. Save the cards for future repetition of this daily, eliminating cards that when goals are reached. Congratulations, you're on your way. You're on your way. Yeah. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Chapter 4. Better health at the snap of your fingers with Psychotronic Energy. Now. Boom. Okay. In this chapter, you learn to stop pain in yourself and in others. You become a psychic healer. You are able to use your hands and eyes to help correct your own physical problems and help others without even being near them. You are able to harness psychotronic energy to help keep yourself and others in good health. Have you heard of palming? It is recommended for tense, tired executives. You place your palms over your eyes, base of palms resting on your cheekbones. Hold this position for 2 minutes while you picture yourself away from your desk at some more tranquil location. Or picture yourself a life without that desk in the location you want to be and money coming easily. What is really happening through palming? Of course, every time you close your eyes and take your mind off your tensions, you are giving yourself a moment of restful rejuvenation. But placing the hands over the eyes adds another element to this. That element is psychotronic energy. Your life energy radiated through your fingers and recycled through your eyes is built up. You feel the difference in seconds. You can place your hands on another person and get affirmation of this effect. The late Ambrose Worrell, working with his wife Olga, created a clinic for healing through the laying on of hands. That's Ambrose Worrell, Worrell. And then, of course, like faith healing. I want to say this. I've been, like when I bring energy through, I shake, and sometimes objects just fly because the kinetic energy. And I used to think that faith healers or, some of that stuff, was fake. People like shake and then they'd fall over. Okay. Well, when that would happen to me, I'd do these healings to myself and then I would shake or I would do this or flip. I tell Spirit, well, that seems to be faked. And then Spirit would say, okay, well, do it. Fake it. Like, do it again. I couldn't do it. My body was too dense to make those movements that I made in my energy healing sessions. And, I did like, prove it. And so your body can jerk different directions and you can shake, and that's getting old energy out. It's not fake. It's not demonic. It's not weird. It's the natural process of getting that stuck energy out. Okay. Your life, right, radiating. Okay. You can place your hands on another person and get affirmation to this effect. Okay, the Ambrose Worrell, working with his wife Olga, created a clinic for healing through the laying on of the hands. They were a dramatic example of the power of psychotronic energy to heal. Their hands focused psychotronic energy into the ailing and affected changes where the better were noticed immediately. Olga Worrell has since made herself available to numerous scientists interested in the study of psychotronic energy. One experiment in which she held an enzyme in her hand for a few minutes showed that enzyme to be at a greater level of activity than a control batch, which she did not hold. Also, a batch of enzymes damaged under the ultraviolet light was shown to be restored when held in her hands. Similarly, water, when held in her hands and sent with a control sample to 3 separate spectroscopic laboratories exhibited similar shifts in the 3 analyses, indicating that human psychotronic energy might be making molecular changes in matter such as water. And also intention, sound, toning. Okay, you do change, you do affect water. Okay, if I have those behind me, but you've had those, Imaro Emoto, the pictures of, the power of prayer and how you actually change the molecules of water. Well, ether, there's water in ether. We're 70% water. Okay, so your thoughts are electromagnetic. They affect that. Okay, so similarly, water, when held in her hands and sent with control samples to 3 separate labs, okay, that's pretty profound. So how to use your hands to stop pain in your body in minutes. Your hands are a channel for psychotronic energy. You can help heal another person. Try it. The next time somebody has a pain in their stomach or back or head, hold your hands on the affected area. Do not massage or rub or manipulate unless you have a medical license. Do whatever you intuitively feel guided to do. Yes, we need a medical license for magic. Okay, tangent. The laying on of hands is a spiritual process. You become a channel for spiritual healing. In more scientific terms, this means that your psychotronic energy is being added to the person's own psychotronic energy. In Japan, there is a healing practice known as Reiki. It is the laying on of hands. It is taught only to a select few who are usually not permitted to teach it to others. And now, everybody does Reiki, right? So there's quantum healing, there's bioenergy healing, there's shamanic healing. All of these forms of energy healing and intention are great learning tools. And then you call in your spirit guides, your higher self, and then you heal the other person. And also what I've noticed is that when you're working with someone who's done their shadow work, who's worked on their programs and triggers, the higher the vibration of the person, the more effective of a healing it will be for you. Okay, so yes, Reiki. So, however, a Honolulu woman who was healed by its receiving permission and has been teaching it throughout the United States. A Honolulu doctor became interested and asked for treatment. It was so effective, he has seen to it that this woman be given hospital privileges whenever asked to help hospitalized patients. Dr. Edward Mitchell, in association with other researchers, has investigated the laying on of hands and found energy is measurable. And, all these modern scientists and modern doctors, and to factoring in Tartaria, and we're in, our healing ability is innate. It just is, okay? Because we've studied it now, and we say it's real now, so it's real. No, as folk healers, as psychics, as witches, as healers, as psychic healers, as spiritual healers, we already know this, and we don't need the scientists of mankind to tell us it exists, especially when their energy affects the experiment. Okay, we're healers. We know we heal. Those of you who doubt your healing ability, that affects your ability to heal others. All right, well, that was a mouthful. Okay. His work and that of other psychotronic scientists is moving toward more understanding of the practical ways to apply use of this energy for specific health problems. And then when we did it as witches, we got burned at the stake, right? You don't need any of the science. Just do it. Charge up your field, own your thoughts, own your beliefs, and get after it. Okay. Meanwhile, pain remains the most insidious of illness symptoms. Drugs are not the perfect answer. While they bring relief, they cause other problems. You can use your conscious energy to end pain. It is done by focusing it through your hands. Psychotronic energy so focused can actually numb the nerves. Pain then ceases. The next action plan tells you how you can do this using your visualizing power. You need not go to your special room. You can imagine it all happening where you're at. It involves an imaginary bucket of ice water. A word of warning, pain is nature's way of saying there's a problem. Use this method only for first aid or temporary relief. If pain persists, see your doctor. Okay, All pain, all illness is caused by something in your biofield. Every time you clear an emotion and old stuff, that pain, that illness goes away. Okay, Kirlian photography, great example of showing you that your biofield exists whether your body exists or not. Okay, so when we work with people and we help them identify beliefs and we unwind other people's patterns and beliefs on them, we find that their illness, their chronic pain just goes away. So when we're doing energy healing, when we're our psychotronic energy onto another person, we're raising their vibration, but we're breaking up blocks, okay, and we're removing old stagnant energy that cause these diseases. Okay, I think doctors are for emergency medicine only. I do not believe in doctors or Western medicine in any way at all. However, I have went to them for emergency cases or diagnosis. Okay, but if you don't believe, then it's not going to happen for you. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. Okay, action plan. What? Take 2. Action plan to relieve pain. Relax where you are. Close your eyes. Deepen your relaxation. Pretend there is a bucket of ice water by the side of your chair. Brr. Place your hand in the bucket by letting it hang down at the side of your chair. Feel the icy cold water, the cracked ice, the cubes. Remember when you had your hand in ice cold water before. Recall how it feels. Feel the ice moving around. Feel. Make your hand feel as numb as it did then. Ow! Keep your hand in the bucket of ice water until it gets more numb. This might take 2 or 3 minutes. Take your hand out of the water and test it for numbness by pinching. Pinch your other hand to compare. Return to the ice water if necessary. Touch the pained area of your body with the numbed hand. Instruct the numbness to move out of your hand and into the pained area. Then, rub your hand and instruct it to return to normalcy. End your session feeling better than you did before the pain relieved. It's all about focus and intention. I mean, we clearly project and create our reality. It's fascinating. It's just fascinating. Okay. Tom was hit by a car while riding a motorcycle. He fell free of the vehicle but mangled his foot and knee in the process. Instantly, he touched these areas to relieve the pain. He was then able to rest comfortably until medical help arrived. This reminds me, check out Raymond Grace, Raymon, Grace, Grace. He's a dowser and talking about healing methods. It's all the same energy where you use a pendulum, your hand, Okay, once you perform the action plan described above, you are able to merely think that your hand is in ice water and it will respond. That response becomes faster and faster the more you practice. Ultimately, you make your hand numb at will. Joan was one of 3 persons who was very low level of pain tolerance, and she fainted at the sight of blood. She studied psychotronics and especially the numbing technique. One day, Joan was cutting the lawn. The mower jammed. She attempted to free what was stuck at the cutter. She succeeded, but did not withdraw her hand fast enough. She suffered a deep cut. She saw the blood and she starting to spurt. Instantly, she thought, hand well, no panic, no pain, no bleeding. She went into the house to wash her hand. Her husband took one look at the cut and said, "We're taking you to the hospital. That needs stitches." By now, the bleeding had stopped and there was no pain, but Joan agreed to go just to satisfy her husband. At the hospital, no stitches were needed. Healing had already started. Only a bandage was applied. When the bandage was removed a few days later, there was not even a scar. You can use a simple biofeedback device to speed your progress. Before you hold your hand in the imaginary bucket of ice water, hold the bulb of a thermometer in your hand, in your fingers for a couple minutes until it registers your finger temperature. Then insert your hand in the imaginary ice water and check the thermometer every few minutes. When you see the most dramatic drop, 3 degrees, it is entirely possible. you know that the way you just imagined is the best and most effective way. Understanding the power of your hands to heal. Your hands are powerful, precious servants of your mind. Man's imaging faculty begins the creative process. Then his hands take over. Your hand has some 25 joints and over 50 different possible motions. Your hands have the ability to create or destroy material comforts, to create a new culture or destroy an old one. You reinforce your physical balance with your hands. You emphasize your speech and communication with your hands, and you focus your psychotronic energy with your hands. People understand the first two, but not the last. Sometimes the mind and the hands working together do evil, shake people up to understand this power better. A Haitian witch doctor created a doll in the image of a person. He put pins in that doll. The person becomes deathly ill. And too old, we're in New Earth energy, and so we can't really affect others negatively. We can only assist them to raise their frequency. Okay, a soccer team in Kenya, Africa, asked a local witch doctor for help in defeating a rival visiting team. The witch doctor takes a cat as a symbol of the rival team. Yeah. Anyway, the home team won. So basically, visualization. Visualize what you want to happen, and you put that energy in charge. And the more emotion you put in it, the more psychotronic energy that you raise. Okay, an Indian fakir, Fakir, drops human... Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, you do not need to see evil done to understand that the psychotronic power of your hands. The following scene takes place regularly at the author's home, but it's also happening in scores of other places in the United States. A dozen people are seated comfortably. Their eyes are closed. They are at their relaxed alpha level of mind and have gone into their special room. Mr. Roy Jones, 43, of Memphis, Tennessee, has been told he has a kidney stone. Please detect the problem and make corrections. The host reads from a list. We used to do this in Montana. We'd have people over, we'd do drumming and toning, and we do hands-on healing, and people would come over that had, cancer, all kinds of different things, and we would just, yeah. But, if the person doesn't believe it, or in this case, if he really did want to cross over because his wife had already died, there's other factors because the patient has free will. All right. Hands begin to move. One person appears to be moving an imaginary man higher and higher so he can observe all 01, the anatomy in close detail. I don't know what, is that a typo or what? Another person is turning the body around. Now someone snaps his fingers to make an area brighter for his easier examination. A few people start grinding an imaginary stone between their fingers, pulverizing it. Others' hands motions occur, suggesting cutting or removing or sewing. After a few minutes, the host reads another problem case from his list, and hands begin to move once more. The next time these groups meet, they hear about recovery, improvements, and healing. Mr. Jones paused the stones the next morning. Past the kidney stones is what I meant. Your hands have healing powers. These powers are native and natural to you. It's your innate gift, your innate power. However, your lack of awareness that you have these powers in your hands acts to diminish and throttle the power. Increase your awareness of your hands' power, and you permit these powers to be restored. And that's what I'm focused on, is charging up my terrestrial field. And with the amount of healing work I've done, energy healing, it raises and raises and raises all the time. When we bring that back in to charge up our own field every day, dissolving any anxiety, any depression, any health things, any pain, anything that you might not want in your life, and raising the frequency, drawing to you what you do prefer to have in your life. Okay, increase your awareness of your hands' powers, and you permit these powers to be restored. This is happening already. It happens as you began to read this chapter. Kirlian photographs of your hands when you started and now would reflect a difference. Energy is increasing in your hands. You can accelerate this increase with the next action plan. Are you ready? Action plan for increasing your hands' healing powers. Relax deeply. Relax. Don't do it. Okay, relax deeply. Eyes closed. Deep breath. Go to your special room and sit under your skylight. Imagine the light entering the skylight, flowing through your hands. Hold your hands up and open your eyes. See light pouring out of your hands. See your hands radiate with healing light. End your session knowing your hands are even more powerful than before. How psychotronic healing takes place. The healing work undertaken by the people who moved their hands, as described earlier in this chapter, is conducted under a number of training disciplines today. The author is a trainer in one of those disciplines, the Silva Mind Control, from which number of offshoots have come about. The training consists of accepting mental conditions that you can do it, and of setting up a methodology to proceed. The fact that acceptance produces the results is not new to science. We are no better than we think we are. This has been the message of psychiatrists and psychologists throughout the past decades. Self-image seems to be the only limiting factor to human behavior. The methodology of working at a subjective or imaginary level is based on the same procedures used at an objective or material level. We work with our hands at more physical work. Working with these same hands, even though it is imaginary work, adds energy to that work and adds energy to that work-psychotronic energy. This is called psychic healing. It appears to be an energy process that is channeled by the thought of the picturing person into the affected parts of the ill person. And we as energy healers, we call it long-distance healing. This energy transfer is the key to healing, but it does not actually do the healing. What does the healing is the same healing process that is always at work naturally, only now reinforced by outside energy. It is able to make faster progress. There is another factor involved here that is important. Each person has the choice to come or to go. That means be alive or not be alive. Many cases of illness are subconscious death wishes beginning to manifest, right? So the person may want to die. A psychic healer visualizes a sick person healed. The healing takes place. The same psychic healer visualizes another person well who had the same sickness, and this time the healing does not take place. Why? Chances are that the second person subconsciously rejected the psychotronic energy sent for healing. Healing by prayer, whether the prayerful ones fully realize this or not, assists an ill person in two ways. An argument in favor of life is presented at a subconscious level. Psychotronic healing energy is supplied. In other words, the plea for assistance directed to a higher level produces a change on the ill person's subconscious death wish or wish to be ill. It is as if a silent discussion takes place, something like this. Superconscious. Your work is not done. Get well. Ill person subconscious. I'm not worthy, not capable, not wanted here. I deserve to be punished for failing. Superconscious. You are worthy and wanted. You deserve to be rewarded with good health and happy life experiences. Here is healing energy. Accept it. Ill person subconscious. Well, all right then. I'll accept it. Bill, 42, was not improving from growing depression that took his appetite away and was leaving him progressively weaker. His case was placed before a group of psychic healers without any results. Then an exorcist handled the case, could find no evidence of possession, but had a talk with Bill's soul. The imagined conversation purported to show Bill unwilling to live because of his spouse's infidelity. The exorcist counseled Bill in his imagination. Counseling at this level produces a very real change of heart. In other words, the change at the soul level or inner level produced an immediate change at the psychic or outer level. Bill's appetite and mood improved steadily from that day on. He became more understanding of his wife's needs and actions. Their marriage improved. Acceptance of psychotronic healing is necessary if it is to work. You know, you can do energy healing on people that don't believe, and it will work and it will assist them, but it'll also be available for when they're ready and they go, oh, I want to be healed, or they pray or they call out. That energy is there for them immediately because you've already made it available. Okay, how prayer fits in with psychotronic healing. Prayer is acceptance of healing. In effect, it is saying, I got myself in here, now I want to get myself out, help me. So often faith healers of great renown die of some disease. People become disillusioned. Why couldn't they heal themselves? The answer is simple as one and one make two. If you are ill and somebody adds his psychotronic energy to yours, a significant outpouring of that energy is added. But even if you have a technique for increasing your own psychotronic energy, your own illness will lessen it. It might be less than normal. Okay, that is why healers go to healers. Right? Because there's some things that we raise our energy, we raise our toroidal field, we move things out, but some things we can't see and we're blocked and we have programs and triggers and all this stuff. And when we go to healers, or even when we do healings, we are healed if we put that intention, you know. Okay. That is why healers go to healers. It is as easy to lift another person up, but impossible to lift yourself up. It's not impossible, and that's what I'm doing now, and that's why I'm relearning all this stuff and reminding myself. I'm raising my frequency every day. However, for years and years and years, I got healings from other people, and now I am completely taking charge of my toroidal field and my own healing. And sometimes we need other people for years, and in me healing other people, raising my frequency to get to the point where you go, well, really it's all about the energy I have in my own toroidal field, my own biofield. So then you got tuning forks, you got intention, you got fire, you got sound, you got humming, you got visualization, imagination, you know, bringing up energy and letting it flow out of your heart chakra and filling your toroidal field. You definitely can raise your own frequency. When you pray for healing, you are doing the equivalent of going to another healer. The appeal for help constitutes both the switching on of additional psychotronic power and acceptance of that power. I sometimes put myself on a healing table. I visualize myself and other benevolent beings healing me. And I do this when I do healings on others. I call in other benevolent beings. Where does this come from? The universal psychotronic generator. You might call this generator of divinity God. Generator of divinity, if you will. Healing was once of the main functions of the church. It was once a main function of the church. After centuries of it having been played down, it now returns in many denominations. The healing Christ light within us, the healing gift of God, or the healing spirit of the Holy Ghost are some of the religious terms once in use that are now returning. There's no difference in the process as the words differ, and there's no difference in the process as approached by the church or by science, despite the different words used. The similarity between the methods of faith healers and the methods of psychotronic healers becomes apparent when washed clean of word differences. Both requires a strong desire to effect a cure. Both require an expectation and belief that a cure will be effected. Both require a total absorption of the mind in the process. Some call this concentration, but this word denotes effort. Rather, it is a relaxed involvement in the project. Both require a picture of the problem in the mind of the healer and then a picture of the salvation. the solution, the healing, picturing them healed. And this is why also it's important to not enable people with their victim stuff. Oh, I'm this way because, or, oh, don't do that because it might upset me. Or, when you enable people, you keep them where they're at energetically, and you visualize them as that victim to that problem or that circumstance. Okay. And you keep them there through your stare, your point, your energy. People are like, oh, I just care about people. I love them. I don't want them to hurt. Well, you're enabling them to keep hurting by enabling them to not take charge of their own psychotronic energy and project their own reality. Instead, they're leaning on you to stay in the version of reality they're in, which is poor me and low frequency. Okay. There are some expectations to the latter. Christian Science, for instance, sees only the perfection, not the problem. The more people you have working for you, the more the energy. Prayer groups are successful, so are psychic groups, and so is calling in benevolent beings. You can help yourself in many ways, and we will now deal with some of these ways, but don't sell prayer short or prayer groups. And remember, in serious illness, your psychotronic energy needs the reinforcement of others. Polish medical doctors have reported how they are studying psychotronic energy at work in the medical profession. They see some medicines, it's like, the medical, so healers know, they know the plants, they know innis, they know crystals, they know energy, they're healing people, and then they're demonized by the church and burned at the stake. And then now, thousands of years later, doctors are pretending to learn what we already knew, but we weren't allowed to practice because the government's the man was controlling it. Okay. And in Tartaria, you walk through somewhere, you're just healed, right? So creating places where the energy is such high vibration that when they walk into places, like, when people walk into my church, they automatically feel change because I work on raising the vibration every day, all the time, or just even when they're in my energy field, I just beam. I can't help it. Okay. So they see some medicines working for some doctors, but not for others, treating the same illness. They also see how when a doctor is treating one patient for whom he has a great rapport, his ability to be effective for another patient is greatly diminished. Both facts point to something going on in the doctor-patient relationship that is closely associated with matters beyond pills, shots, and therapy with the energy of their consciousness. Right, it's whether they believe their doctor or not. It's energy. It's, and a lot of doctors are just, I'll leave it at that. How to free yourself of certain physical conditions. A woman who studied with me told me her daughter was despondent over her poor complexion. She is too embarrassed to come to you for help. Is there anything I can do for her? She asked. What is your daughter's name? I inquired. Betty. I took a piece of paper and wrote down, Dear Betty. Take a large photo of yourself, just the head and shoulders. Carry it with you for 3 days, put it under your pillow for 3 nights, take a typewriter, correction fluid, and white over your facial skin. Post the photo up on your bedroom door where you can see it as you come and go. Stare at it. So another thing is that, looking at the picture and visualizing, the complexion cleared up. Also, alkaline. There's obviously other. Okay, Betty's mother saw me in 3 weeks. She followed your instructions. She exclaimed with great surprise, as it was the first time Betty did what she was told. She's 75% better, and now a hit with the boys. This book, right? It's like right out of the 50s or something. Oh, yeah, she's successful. She's a hit with the boys. Okay, well, that's not what we're going for here, but... Okay, I opened the large envelope. It was Betty's picture. On the white face, she had typed the word thanks. If you do the action plan to increase the psychotronic power in your hands, as provided earlier in this chapter, you are able to help yourself in many ways. Action plan to relieve physical problems. Relax easily, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and feeling an improvement has already begun. See yourself with the problem. Review it. Change to a picture of the solution. See yourself perfect. See yourself relieved of that condition. And just feel it all. Feel the emotions. See the room. Feel it. Imagine it the best you can. Point the fingers of your hand at the affected area. Snap your fingers and say gone. And so it is done. I myself had a problem with my eyes. They would be very dry at night, so dry that I would wake with one eye sticking to the socket and causing pain when coming loose. Sorry, that sounded funny. Then it would tear profusely. Eye doctors gave me salves and drops, but nothing helped. After years of accepting this problem, I decided I now had the knowledge to get rid of it. In doing the above action plan, I used a command in conjunction with the picture of the solution. My eyes will be properly lubricated until I awake. After years of wrestling with this problem, it disappeared with just one session and has never returned. You talk to your body. All right, your psychotronic energy can heal others. Bringing your own psychotronic energy to bear on your own physical problem is fine, but two people are better than one. Another person can help you to heal yourself better than you can heal yourself alone. Again, discern that. I don't necessarily believe that. You can call in angels. You have people that can work with you long distance. You don't necessarily have to have someone in person. Okay, maybe that is what is behind Jesus' statement, where two or more shall gather. And what a Mandela effect, right? Church, it used to be where three or more gather. And now it's where two or more gather. Here is how to go about helping another person to heal. This is on a spiritual level. It is the use of psychotronic power. It is never done in the presence of that person. This is to avoid any misunderstanding that the medical authorities might get. Blech. Psychotronic healing is legal, just as prayer healing is legal. Right. They get to say what's legal. I roll, seriously. Both are the exercises of the energy of consciousness on a non-material level. Non-material is spiritual. You are therefore protected by the freedom of religion guaranteed of our Constitution. Spiritual healing should not be undertaken as a substitute for medical advice, medical attention. Well, it's the only thing that's worked for me. Rather, it should be utilized as first aid before medical attention can arrive. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. Okay, action plan for healing another person. Relax and go to your special room. Invite the ill person in your imagination to enter the room. See the person standing in front of you, complaining of the problem. Fix the person with your hands. See explanations below. Let the final image of this person be one of total fitness. End your session knowing the person's restored to perfect health. I don't think I used to watch that John, that psychic that was on TV all the time. Anyway, he had a meditation tape that I listened to in my early 20s, and it would be climb these stairs. And I'd go up to this little like treehouse type building, and I'd put all of my worries, everything like in this chest outside it, and then I'd go in. Okay, and I had kind of a bed. I had a computer station where I had these screens, and I would diagnose, and then I'd have someone, when I'd bring someone into my imagination, I'd have them stand behind the screen, and I'd scan them, and I'd be able to do medical into it, you know. And so I kind of did it through different screens and imagination and visualization in this room that I'd created for that. Okay, so a word about using your hands. This adds to the reality of the psychotronic work. The imagination has been so brainwashed into thinking it's just a fantasy that it needs help in making the procedure as real as scientists now recognize the imagination to be. Ooh, now we know it's real because the scientist says so. Also, the hands help to focus psychotronic energy where needed. Energy we call electricity is the energy of free electrons. It follows the pattern of these electrons. The more free electrons in a substance, the better it conducts electrical energy. Heat energy is the energy of molecular motions. It needs contact to pass its heat from a hot object to a cold one. Psychotronic energy is the energy of consciousness. It does not follow the patterns of electrical heat, light, or any other energy. It goes where thought goes. And that is not very limiting. Seeing a person free of a disease sends psychotronic energy to that person no matter where, and that energy performs work toward healing. When you point your fingers at your imagined picture of a person, you increase the flow of your healing psychotronic energy. The hands are tools of the consciousness. A truck has dented the fender of a taxi. Both drivers are in the street shouting at each other. Their hands are flying around with the emphasis of the energy to their mental conviction. A child is disobeyed. The mother warns the child that the next time will get a spanking. She points at the child and she gets her point across. She shakes her finger to make the threat more emphasis. That's too freaking funny. Hold on a second here. I have to do something. Okay, you can use your hands in the healing process to emphasize your point. Anything you do with your hands is helpful. Point at the imagined person. Rub on an imaginary salve. And, your imagination can go any direction for these healing. Spray with an imaginary disease dissolver. Snap your fingers to command healing. Erase a blemish or lung spots. Dissolve tumors. Pulverize a stone. Sew up a wound. The hands help your consciousness effectuate to relief, improvement, and cure. You help your own health when you help others. The author was asked by a woman with bone spurs to assist her to remove it. It was getting increasingly irritated by her clothing, being located at the back of her shoulder. PM going to have it removed by surgery, she explained. But I thought maybe you could make it unnecessary. When you're planning to have the operation, I asked. I enter the hospital tomorrow, she said. Well, that's not much time to create a physical change in something as rigid as bone spurs, but I could not ignore the request. That night I relaxed, imagined the woman, and went through the motions with my hands of sawing off the spurs. She went ahead with the operation. It's like psychic healing. Psychic healing is also quantum healing and quantum shifts. And when you do energy work and you convince people or energies, you shift them to a timeline where that disease or issue doesn't exist. Whew. She went ahead with the operation on schedule and the matter was forgotten. But about a week later, I noticed something strange about my left elbow. It was always very pointed and pronounced. Now it was rounded just like my right elbow. I had removed a spur all right, not hers, but my own. Whenever you help other people, you help yourself. It is as if your psychotronic energy is repaid by that person's psychotronic energy. Every time you go to your relaxed alpha level of mind, whether to help others or yourself, your body and mind receive instant benefits. Individuals involved in the use of psychotronic power or in such relaxation practices as yoga, self-hypnosis, or meditation report improved memory, concentration, and creativity. Many claim improvements in their personality, self-confidence, and job leadership. Many also report the correction of unwanted habits such as excessive eating, drinking, and smoking. Most common improvements claimed for the relaxed state regularly attained are better sleeping habits, less tension and nervousness, fewer colds and headaches, and greater control over their personal relationships. You have the greatest power on earth in your consciousness. Just tuning in this power by relaxing and imagination brings dramatic personal improvements. Focusing this power on a specific problem brings miraculous results. How can you see health problems in others? So we call it like scanning or medical intuit. A medical conference was held in Tucson, Arizona in 1975 to share research and experiences on new direction in medicine, especially the way the mind and body can work together in the healing process. This National Congress on Integrative Health heard Dr. V. Norman Shealy, a surgeon at the University of Wisconsin, report on an 18-month study of how people with so-called psychic abilities can make medical diagnosis without the radiation and other medical risks, just as accurately as physicians can with the aid of modern equipment. Dr. Shealy's report told of how clairvoyants were given a sketch of the human body and then given the name and address of a patient. The clairvoyant would then indicate on the sketch where the problem area was and tell them something about it. They were over 75% accurate and in some cases corrected faulty medical diagnosis, because the doctors are just giving your opinion and they don't even factor in the energy field. They study on dead bodies, okay, and thoughts and emotions and things that actually create all these issues. Okay, Dr. Shealy's, the Besides clairvoyance, the research also used numerologists, palmists, and astrologists, most of whom had never seen the patients, but who were given the necessary photos, birth dates, palm prints, and other similar information required by their unorthodox approach. Dr. Shealy pointed to the advantage of using psychics for the hundreds of thousands of expensive and possible risky X-ray dye tracer tests done yearly. The X-ray tests are 80% accurate with a 1% risk of causing a problem, he noted, while the psychic would be a 98% accurate with no risks. If you wish to help another person who has a problem not responding to medical care, this might require you to determine the nature of the problem. It might be quite different than the medical treatment assumes, or it might include other undiagnosed factors. You can determine this through your psychotronic energy. It is not called diagnosis. You have to be licensed for that. Okay, it's done at a distance, never in the subject's presence. The subject is not told of the problem discerned. All you need for successful psychotronic discernment is the ability to relax, a visual imagination, a desire to help the person, the expectation and belief that you can succeed in helping them. A number of commercial courses giving training in this ability. One student who graduated Silva Mind Control attended a follow-up workshop and complained to the instructor, "I can't do it." "Stand up," John ordered the teacher. "I have a card in here in my shirt pocket. On it is the name and address of a person with a physical problem. I'm going to walk down the aisle towards you. By the time I reach you, I want you to tell me what is wrong with this person." He started to walk towards John. John acted flustered for a moment, closed his eyes, then blurted out, "She has an amputated right arm and spots on her lung." The instructor pulled out the card and showed it to John, and he was exactly right on. Graduates of this course, called Psychotronic Discernment Detection and Psychotronic Healing Correction, untold thousands of cases of accurate detection and effective correction have been experienced by the now hundreds of thousands of graduates of this training. This year, its founder, Jose Silva, announced the availability of this training free to ministers of all faiths in effort to return faith healing to the church. I love faith healing. Do it as much as possible, as it's what energy healing is based on. If you feel you have the 4 requirements, that's interesting, right? So, have you been watching Wax Strip? That'd be interesting to watch that later on the camera, because whatever we did with the tuning forks of the energy, there a hole burst through, and wax was just actually kind of pouring out the sides of the candle. Fascinating. Okay, if you feel you have the 4 requirements for success, full psychotronic discernment spelled out above, then you are ready to perform this action plan. Action plan for psychotronic discernment of illness. Relax in your special room under the skylight. Invite the ill person to enter and stand before you. And this is, of course, in your imagination. Whew. I think Spirit's doing a healing on me. Wow. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there, because there is some energy going on, and I'm going to work with that. We will continue next time. All right, so let's break up any heavy energy. All right, let's clear the energy in your room. All right, my intention for you is the highest and best. My intention is to send you healing energy right now. Through this flame, this sound, my intention, my energy. I send you money, love, unconditional love, healing, happiness, joy, peace, And so it is. And that follows along my intention as I blow out these candles. Your highest and best good. Raising your vibration. Raising the energy of your tritial field. I think this candle did a healing on me. Highest and best good. I love you. Until we meet again.